Welcome to this Functional Skills Level 2 Maths training video. This video contains information and guidance on Criterion 13. Calculate amounts of money, compound interest, percentage increases, decreases and discounts, including tax and simple budgeting. At Level 2, and by the end of this session, you should be able to calculate amounts of money, compound interest, percentage increase and decrease, taxes, and budgets. Let's start with calculating amounts of money. Many questions will require you to add and subtract values in both pounds and pence. Remember that there is 100 pence in £1. To convert from pounds to pence, we simply multiply by 100. For example, convert £3.28 into pence. To complete this calculation correctly, multiply by 100. £3.28 multiplied by 100 equals 328. When converted to pence, £3.28 becomes 328 pence. Now it's your turn. Convert the following amounts from pounds to pence. Pause the video, then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's check your answers. Pause the video while you check. To convert from pence to pounds, we need to do the opposite. We need to divide by 100. Let's look at an example. Convert 53 pence into pounds. We need to divide by 100. 53 divided by 100 equals 0.53. When converted to pounds, 53 pence becomes 0.53 pounds. Convert the following amounts from pence to pounds. Pause the video, then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's check your answers. Pause the video while you check. Money problems will also often include decimal calculations. For example, a printing company charges a fixed cost of £6 for specially designed cards. They also charge a printing fee of 5 pence per card. How much will the company charge for an order of 110 cards? How many cards can you buy for £20? Let's answer part A of the question. We know that 110 cards need ordering. We also know that each card costs 5 pence. Therefore, we need to multiply 5 pence by 110. This gives us 550 pence. We also know that the fixed cost is given in pounds, so we need to convert 550 pence to pounds. 550 divided by 100 equals £5.50. Finally, add the price of printing the cards to the fixed cost. This gives us a final answer of £11.50. Let's answer part B of the question. First, we need to subtract the fixed cost from £20. £20 minus £6 equals £14. Next, we need to convert the remaining £14 to pence. This is because the price of each card is 5 pence. To convert pounds to pence, we need to multiply by 100. £14 multiplied by 100 equals 1,400 pence. Finally, we need to divide the remaining money by the cost of each card. 1,400 divided by 5 equals 280. You can buy 280 cards for £20. Here's a practice exam question. Read the question carefully. Pause the video while you work out the answer, then press play to continue. Did you get it right? Let's work through the answer. First, calculate how many hours the builders need to work to complete the project in 42 days. There are 6 builders, and each builder works 8 hours per day. Multiply these numbers together to find out how many total hours the builders work every day. 6 multiplied by 8 equals 48. Next, multiply the total daily hours by 42 to find out how many hours the builders will need to work to complete the project in 42 days. 48 multiplied by 42 equals 2016 hours. The builders work a total of 48 hours every day. To work out how much the builders will cost per day, multiply this number by the hourly rate, which is £12. 48 multiplied by 12 equals 576. It costs £576 per day to hire the builders. Now we know that it will cost £576 each day, we can calculate how much the wages will cost over 42 days. 576 multiplied by 42 equals 24,192. It will cost £24,192 to complete the project in 42 days. Let's move on to calculating the cost over 35 days. First, calculate how many working hours are available in 35 days. We know the builders work a total of 48 hours per day. 48 multiplied by 35 equals 1,680. There are 1,680 working hours over 35 days. Now we need to know how many hours overtime the builders will need to work to complete the project. To calculate this, subtract the 1,680 hours from the total hours it would take to complete the project in 42 days. 2016 minus 1,680 equals 336. The builders need to work 336 hours overtime to complete the project in 35 days. We now need to calculate how much it will cost for the builders to finish the project in 35 days. We need to calculate their working day wages, as well as their overtime wages, before finding the sum of these. We know the hourly working rate is £12 and that the builders need to work 1,680 hours. 12 multiplied by 1,680 equals £20,160. It will cost £20,160 to pay the working day wages. We also know it will cost £18 per hour for overtime, and the builders need to work a total of 336 overtime hours. 18 multiplied by 336 equals 6,048. It will cost £6,048 for overtime. Now, find the total cost for wages over 35 days. £20,160 plus £6,048 equals £26,208. Finally, the question asks us to calculate the difference between completing the project in 35 days and 42 days. £26,208 minus £24,192 equals £2,016. The difference is £2,016. Let's move on to compound interest. Interest can be added over and over again. For example, money saved in a bank account might have interest added once every year, or money owed on a credit card might be charged interest every month. Compound interest is calculated as a percentage of the current value of something. This includes any interest that has already been added or applied. For example, John puts £40 into a savings account. The account earns 5% compound interest every year. How much money will John have after 3 years? To successfully answer this question, we need to work out how much interest will be added each year. In the first year, John has £40. We need to find 5% of £40 and add this interest to the account. To calculate 5%, multiply by 0.05. This is because as a decimal, 5% converts to 0.05 or 5/100ths. 0.05 multiplied by 40 equals 2. 5% of £40 is £2. 40 plus 2 equals 42. After the first year, John will have £42. We need to find 5% of £42 and add this interest to the account for the second year. 0.05 multiplied by 42 equals 2.10. 5% of 42 is £2.10. £42 plus £2.10 equals £44.10. John will have £44.10 after 2 years. We need to find 5% of £44.10 and add this interest to the account for the third year. 0.05 multiplied by 44.10 equals 2.205. Money cannot have 3 decimal places for the pence, so we need to round 2.205 to 2 decimal places. In this case, 2.205 rounds to 2.21. £44.10 plus £2.21 equals £46.31. John will have £46.31 after 3 years. Here's an exam practice question. Pause the video while you work out the answer, then press play when you're ready to continue. Did you get it right? Let's work through it together. First, we need to work out the interest after 1 year. We know there is £900 in the account to start with, and the interest rate is 6%. 6% as a decimal is 0.06. 0.06 multiplied by £900 equals £54. After 1 year, the account will contain £954. Now calculate the interest after 2 years. 0.06 multiplied by £954 equals £57.24. After 2 years, the account contains £1,011.24. Finally, the question asks for the amount of interest gained. To calculate this, subtract the original £900 from the total. £1,011.24 minus £900 equals £111.24. Let's look at percentage increase and decrease next. Money questions can often involve percentages. For example, you may have to calculate how much you save after a discount, or the new price of an item when the cost has increased. Let's look at an example. A shop is having a clearance sale. All items have 44% off. A pair of designer shoes normally cost £375. The first part of the question asks us how much money we save when buying the shoes during the sale. We will save 44%, so we need to work out 44% of £375. As a decimal, 44% is 0.44. We can now use multiplication to work out 44% of £375. 0.44 multiplied by £375 equals £165. Let's look at part B of the question. Calculate how much the shoes cost during the sale. As this is a sale, the shoes will become cheaper. Therefore, we need to subtract the 44% discount from £375. £375 minus £165 equals £210. The shoes will cost £210. Now it's your turn. Read the question carefully, then pause the video while you work out the answer. Press play when you're ready to continue. We know that the house's value has increased by 15%. As a decimal, 15% is 0.15. 0.15 multiplied by £240,000 equals £36,000. Add this to the original cost of the house to find the new value. £240,000 plus £36,000 equals £276,000. Alternatively, you could have multiplied the original cost by 115%. 115% as a decimal is 1.15. Let's move on to taxes and budgets. A tax is money paid to the government. For example, council tax is paid to the local council. The amount of council tax paid depends on the value of the property that you live in. Let's look at an example. The table below is used to calculate council tax. Mark's house is valued in Band C. He lives alone, so the council reduces his council tax by 25%. How much does Mark pay in council tax? Looking at the table, we can see that the council tax for Band 100 is £1,390. We need to calculate 25% of £1,390. As a decimal, 25% is 0.25. 0.25 multiplied by £1,390 equals £347.50. To work out the cost of Mark's council tax, after the 25% reduction, we need to subtract £347.50 from £1,390. This gives us £1,042.50. Now it's your turn. Read the question carefully. Pause the video while you work out the answer, then press play when you're ready to continue. Did you get it right? Pause the video while you check your answer, then press play when you're ready to continue. Budgets are used to control income and costs. A business may use a budget to ensure it does not overspend. Let's look at an example. Lucy is planning to open a market stall. She adds her weekly costs to her budget. These costs are shown in the table below. What percentage of her weekly costs is rent? First, find the total cost for a week. Calculate this by adding up all of the values in the table. This total £1,395. Next, find the cost of rent as a percentage of this total. To work this out, divide 515 by 1,395. This gives us 0.36917. To convert this into a percentage, we need to multiply by 100. 0.36917 multiplied by 100 equals 36.917. 3 decimal places isn't necessary for this type of question. Therefore, we can round 36.917 to 2 decimal places. In this instance, 36.917 becomes 36.92%. Now it's your turn. Pause the video while you answer the question, then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's look at the answer. Did you get it right? Pause the video while you check. Here's another practice question. Pause the video while you answer the question, then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's look at the answer. Did you get it right? Pause the video while you check. You should now be able to calculate amounts of money, compound interest, percentage increase and decrease, taxes, and budgets. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.